Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video, and in this video we'll be doing the last game review of round 21, the St Kilda Saints versus the Brisbane Lions, in which Brisbane just put a stomp down on them, simple put. They won by 14 goals, so 85 points in the end, 15 more scoring shots. It was just domination from them, to be honest with you. From pretty sure start to finish. And yeah, even though St Kilda had some really good scorers in Sinclair and Marshall, the overall consensus, Brisbane just, in the end, smoked them. And so yeah, let's jump into this video. So Sinclair 132, I think he's one that you can jump on, that I've definitely missed, and what I was talking about with Martin, I think you can jump on Sinclair. That's the guy that I've been missing. So he's probably the one now. I think they've gotten through their tag potentials now. So I think that, yeah, he's one that you can jump on for him. I just forgot about him in the, and I wasn't bothering to look at the fantasy website when I was doing that review earlier. But I think he's one that you can jump on, and he ended up with 30 touches, 6 marks, 8 tackles, a really just clean display from him. And yeah, I don't know how I can necessarily jump on him without doing the other trade that I want. So he may be one that I jump on next week. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it now. I think that'll be the way that I go. Marshall, 131, a guy that I do want to grab back in just because of this consistency here. Other than 3 bad games this year, he's pretty much been the number 1 scorer. And yeah, he just was injured in this sort of stretch here, and we got rid of him. Then he went nuts. Then he had a bad game, and then he's pretty much gone nuts ever since. He's just a guy that you probably need to have next year. And yeah, if they continue to not play him with any other sort of ruck guy with him, if they continue with Owens, I think, or where is he? Oh, it's Cam Minty in the ruck as well. Cam Minty did a little bit, but Machito Owens did a little bit, but mostly it was Marshall that did it. If Marshall continues to do what he's doing here, then he's going to be the number 1 guy, as he had 9 marks, 7 tackles. He's a legitimate, much like Dunkley, he's a legitimate guy. And as a ruckman, that could end up with a quadruple double of kicks, handballs, marks, and tackles. Plus, he's also a goal threat as well now, which is just opening it up. If he can kick a goal a game, plus what he's doing in the hit-outs, marks, and tackles, it pretty much doesn't matter what he does with his disposals, as he's already going to be almost clear of 100 non-disposal points by that time. As you see here, he had 39, 47 disposal points, and he had a 131, so that's 84 non-disposal points, which is just humongous. So yeah, and then Steele 108. Do you really want... Is Steele going to be that dangerous of a guy to go for, or is he just sort of going to average that sort of 108, 19, 110 range? Whereas now with, like, we would talk 6 to 8 weeks ago, or sorry, 3 to 4 weeks ago, Steele would have been the number 1 pick given the hindsight now that he's going off. Or up there with like Trelaw. But now is still going to be able to generate those huge scores, because we're probably now with 3 rounds to go looking at matchup based, and is still going to, and I think he does actually have better matchups, because I don't know, do they have like Richmond or something like that? They may have Geelong as well. Is still going to be able to generate probably 380 points in 3 games, is probably going to be what you want as the best traded. So I don't know if he can necessarily do that, but I will be looking at him alongside potentially Sinclair in next week if the likes of Tom Green and Nick Martin don't go off in the next week. That'll probably be hopefully my trades, because they will hold some. Steele will be basically a straight swap, and I don't know about Martin, but I'm pretty sure Sinclair will be almost a straight swap to Martin. Let me just double check Martin's prices. I'm pretty sure he's falling, but I don't know if he's falling that much. 875k, so that'll be a tight one to Sinclair. Let me just check Sinclair in a couple of weeks' time, who's 899k. So they're 24 gap. I would have, yeah, okay. I could see that being the case with the likes of what was Green now? Green's now 910. Okay. So yeah, I could see that being the case, that I'm able to do that. But anyway, yeah, I really like these even top 4, because Phillip, who's got that forward status, I think that he can generate 100 points per game, especially with the run that they've got. I don't know, do they have Geelong or Richmond this week? And I believe that they will be able to... They've got Richmond this week. Let's actually just check the remaining fixtures here 1 second. Richmond, Geelong, Carlton. So I think that is, for at least Marshall's sake, a really good run-in. For Sinclair's sake, I need to double check it, but I don't think, off the top of my head, it doesn't sound like a particularly bad run-in. And Philippou, that sounds like a really good run-in. At least those 2 games against the likes of of Richmond and Geelong. And then also I've got in my back pocket Peatling, who hopefully won't be still in the annoying sub role when Canelio and Kelly come back, but he's got Western Bulldogs in the last round, so it would be Western Bulldogs or the likes of as we said with St Kilda, it would be Carlton. So that's the go there. And basically no one else here really matters, as simply put. Wangani Malira could, but I don't think he's on the level of Sinclair at the moment. So if you're wanting a defender, go for Sinclair, and then the rest of these don't matter. I thought would matter, but he just doesn't at the moment. I think he's playing, I would suggest, more of a higher up the ground role, but these 3 free kicks against, really killed him and not kicking a goal. 55 could have been a good 70 or so if he'd done that. Brisbane, McCluggage has been a surprising guy that I didn't think would score really well, but he's just kicking his 25, and he's having 25 at least and 1 goal. I think he's done that for the last 4 weeks. And he's just doing what he needs to get done. And 28, 3 and 6 for him. Neil with 33, 6 and 2. He's another guy that, aside from this these 2 tag games, he really did just go off. They didn't have Windhager at St Kilda, so I don't think they tagged him, and they got dealt with. Zorko, 105, he was pretty good as well. 36, 14, 16, 39 in the last to generate a big enough score, which is good, as he was on, 66 at 3/4 time. So, to get 39 in the last was pretty good. 26 touches, 8 marks, 2 tackles. A huge last quarter where he only actually disposed of it 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 disposals in the last quarter to get up to that with the 39 to get up there. In the first quarter, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 touches in the first quarter for a 36. So a lot more non-disposal based than the last to get up there. But really good game from him. A 105, you take that as a forward. Danaher, Rayner, Fletcher, literally I could go through here and none of these guys matter. Dunkley here with an absolute shocking game. 20 touches, 5 and 5 for him. Just didn't get the disposals that he needs to get up there or get a really high mark and tackle game. He in the end got to an 83. A lot of that, he could have easily gotten to a huge score if he hadn't just taken a massive rest, I believe here. What was that rest for? A good 7-minute rest there. If he hadn't done that and played on, he probably could have gotten to the ton, even with these horrific quarters here. A little bit annoying from Dunkley that I brought him in after this 106, I believe, against West Coast, and he's gone 61, 128, 83, which is pretty much averaging 90 for me, which is a horrific trade-in. That is what it is. You couldn't tell me when he'd gone, it would be so hindsight bias, I think, to just say, don't go, 61, 128. You could have said with Sydney being a tough midfield, but we've seen with Sydney in the midfield 2 weeks later that their midfield is absolutely giving out scores. So I thought Dunkley would do well against that midfield. And I'm pretty sure he's done well against them in the past. So it might have been, looking back on it, might have been the wrong decision with some other variables involved. But I think the general consensus was that was just a logical decision that sometimes goes wrong. I'd need to look back on it a little bit more. There's no one else here that really matters. Ashcroft with a 54, but he's just going to have to wait his turn, honestly, a little bit. And then no one else here really matters too much. And that is the video there going through St Kilda versus Brisbane. And if you did enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you are up to date when I do post more content, including the end of this AFL fantasy season as we move on to the women's fantasy in late August and September. So I will see you guys in those videos. Bye, guys.